Kitkat gonna farm up energy. We see the Weatherball bank and the pivot into Arcanine. Arcanine looking to absorb the charge with the opponent, fire off the foul play, see that fire type in and send out Tentacruel. A water type into a fire type should be a good matchup, but sorry trainer, it simply is not. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have yet another banger of a battle submission from the highly talented Kitkatdeluxe. Firstly, shout out them girls at PvP. Secondly, congrats to Legend Kitkat. And thirdly, thank you for bringing me one of my favourite strategies. If you've been around the channel for a while, you'll know I love an ABB strategy. However, that's not actually the strategy that I'm referencing. Of course, today's team is an ABB team. We've got a Guzzlord lead with double fire in the back. What I'm actually referencing is a strategy that I like to call It's a Trap. We've got double fire. Water, one of the most common typings in the Ultra League, with both Gator and Tentacruel being some of the most common say switches. So when a lot of people see that fire type in, they're going to pivot into one of them water types, and we've got Arcanine not running Fire Fang, instead Thunder Fang, meaning we can actually hard punish them. There's not really too much more to say. I normally yap for far too long in these intros. So without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, Kitkatdeluxe is going to lead Guzzlord into Shadow Venusaur. Wow, I feel like I'm looking at the wrong side of this battle, as I'm much more used to shoutcasting triple Shadow teams. Unfortunately, despite running double fire, we don't actually have two better responses in the back. Arcanine running Thunder Fang over Fire Fang, not going to be that advantageous into Venusaur. Kitkat tanks a Sludge Bomb, fires off the Crunch, gets the opponent low. We look for the Dragon Tail farm down, unfortunately unable to get it before the Frenzy Plants reached. Venusaur, an absolute slept-on pick, able to take this dragon very close in the zero shield scenario. We instantly pivot into Arcanine, and did I tell you it's a trap? In game one, we've done exactly that. Trap a water type as out comes Gator. Gator getting torn apart by these Thunder Fangs. Unfortunately, I don't think the opponent's going to get taken out with that next one, meaning they are going to reach the double. But that's fine. Kitkat more than happy to two-shield, removing Feraligatr from the field of play. Feraligatr made a very brief cameo appearance. Back out comes Drapion. Kitkat full send in the wild charge. The opponent looks to call the Psychic Fang bait, and unfortunately this game is signed, sealed and delivered. Oh, Kitkat, you didn't need to do that. Kitkat makes a savage catch. This game was already over. We send out Ninetales to operate as the damage sponge. The opponent fire off the Aqua Tail, which does very little damage, and we take that game. Come on, Kitkat. Let's not get me in shambles already. That's only battle number one. Heading into the next battle, we see Guzzlord into Shadow Gator. Gator hitting resisted with the Shadow Claws, but an Ice Beam will do a lot of damage. A lot of people like to bait when two shields are up. Kitkat looks to call the bait. The opponent Yola the nuke. Fair play. They then make a very nice catch, catching the Dragon Claw onto Annihilate. Dragon Claw won't do too much. Kitkat instantly makes the pivot into Ninetales. Ninetales maxed out all the way at level 50. Is a very, very bulky boy. I actually recently finished my long-term project of a level 51 Shadow Kanto Ninetales. I caught it way back in 2020. I really should use it, but I'll be honest, I was thinking there's far too many water and ground types for this thing to perform, and that's why I just love Kitkat's team today. She's using that second fire type to bait out some of Ninetales' hardest counters, giving it the best chance to perform. Speaking of which, we see the instant pivot into Arcanine. Gator getting absolutely torn apart. Kitkat will be looking for the one shield. Full Thunder Fang farm down, of course. The opponent not wanting to get farmed down. Pivot out into Clefable. But unfortunately, this is not a good matchup for them. The opponent shield the first Psychic Fangs, which of course is something you never want to do. Psychic Fangs comes 100% chance to debuff your defense, meaning the next will do even more damage. Kitkat tanks the Meteor Mash, fires off the next Psychic Fangs. The opponent tanks the damage. Oh boy. The opponent getting torn apart. Kitkat goes 2 for 2, making savage catches in back-to-back battles. We send back out Arcanine. The opponent pivots into Gator just to get farmed down. They might have reset their debuff, but it's simply too little too late, and Kitkat will be emerging victorious. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, once again, we see Gator in the lead position, and I think I'm going to be excused for being quite scared to run my Ninetales, as this thing is so bloody common. It's not actually ranked number 1 on PvPoke, but it's still here, there, and everywhere. Kitkat tanks the Ice Beam, fires off the correct one Dragon Tail and the Crunch for optimal fast move timing, getting the opponent into the red health range. This is only a Hydro Cannon. Kitkat knows she survives and will be able to Dragon Tail farm down if the opponent doesn't pivot. Kitkat actually looks to snipe with Arcanine, getting a running start, and out comes Drapion. Once again, we see Kitkat sticking to the strategy of running an ABB team, always pivoting into one of her fire types, looking to bait out the opponent's best fire type counter. Things are looking promising with a water type in the lead and Drapion being counter switched in here. They clearly do not have a ground type. Kitkat was able to sneak the Wild Charge through 2 Protect Shields. Arcanine also has access to Scorching Sands. I'm quite surprised to see the opponent not put up a Protect Shield. Of course, they probably didn't want to shield up a Psychic Fang bait, but Kitkat was not baiting. Drifblim enters the arena. The opponent go for the Icy Wind. Kitkat refusing to shield baits, but unfortunately at this point, it looks like the opponent's just going to go straight Icy Wind. Ninetales happy to shield up a resisted move, looking to keep itself as healthy as possible. Kitkat then resets her debuff, goes to the wham, bam, combo play. Fires off the crunch, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield back out. Comes Ninetales. We look to fire off the Weather Ball. The opponent catch onto Drapion, but we needed to knock it out anyway. Drapion gets knocked out. Back out comes Drifblim. Once again, this is likely the Icy Wind bait, but you know the drill, no bait. We'll be saving this opponent's fate as Kitkat, heavily overfarmed, fires off the Weather Ball despite being debuffed. That's going to be all she wrote. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we see the world's most annoying, boring, dumbass, bulky Pokemon. Sorry, not sorry. Optimus Prime, aka Zygarde. The opponent try and catch a charge move onto Steelix. Kitkat like, no, banks all of her energy and hard punishes it with Kanto Ninetales. The opponent fire off the break-in swipe. Kitkat tearing through Steelix's HP with these fire spins. Well, I say tearing through. This trainer has a very, very bulky team. ABA ground, interesting. What the heck does this team do against something like a Lowland Sandslash? Kitkat fires off the Scorching Sands, forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. We could survive this move, but I do agree with Kitkat shielding here. We really do need the correct alignment, as we don't want Arcanine anywhere near this Zygarde. Speaking of which, Zygarde re-enters the arena. Kitkat fires off the Scorching Sands and sends back out Guzzlord. Guzzlord going to unleash the Dragon Claw, which is super effective. Not that you'd know it, as Zygarde just tanks charge move after charge move. The trade-off for Zygarde's Bolt is the fact they don't hit very hard. Have you ever seen an Earthquake do so little damage? Kitkat tanked the Earthquake, committed to that full Dragon Tail farm down, which is perfect for us. We've left very little farm for returning Steelix. Steelix enters the arena. Kitkat commits to good timing, throwing the correct one Dragon Tail and the Crunch. Crunch gets the opponent low, and out comes Tentacruel. The opponent made a very nice snipe, but are immediately hard punished with Arcanine. Kitkat not messing around, spamming that Psychic Fangs as soon as she gets it, looking to debuff Tentacruel's defense. I thought this opponent's team was bulky before I saw the Tentacruel, but Kitkat going to make quick work of Tentacruel's HP. We're able to outpace to the next Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs will be removing them from the field of play. Back out comes Steelix. We're able to double resisted, Thunderfang farm down and take that game. On a side note, I already said before I saw the Tentacruel, what does that team do against the Lowland Sandslash? My god, triple weak. In the next battle this time, we see Steelix in the lead. I've actually seen quite a rise recently in people returning back to the old moveset of Dragon Tail. When Thunderfang first got buffed, it was all the craze on Steelix. However, in the Open Ultra League, I definitely think Dragon Tail still has some merit. You're going to see in this matchup against Guzzlord, it's such an awkward matchup with that Thunderfang quick move. The opponent make the pivot into Corviknight, and here comes Arcanine. I think this is a good counter switch from Kitkat. Just getting Arcanine in a positive matchup and keeping Ninetales for that very annoying Steel Snake. We shield the Sky Attack, full send the Wild Charge picks up the knockout, removing Corviknight from the field of play. Trainer! Huh? Why the heck would you send the balloon out to take super effective damage instead of double resisted Thunderfang damage? That's cost them almost half their health. I am so confused by that play. They do leave with the Icy Wind, but as they're not a Shadow Balloon, Icy Wind simply not going to cut it. The opponent does make a very nice catch, catching the Crunch onto Steelix, but Steelix swiftly hard punished with Kanto Ninetales. The opponent's already revealed they do actually have the nuke move of Earthquake, however they don't farm up to it in this scenario. Kitkat knows only a Psychic Fangs, easily tanks the damage, gets that full Fire Spin farm down. Back out comes the balloon, and this is simply not a winnable game. Kitkat fires off the Weather Ball, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield, and she's almost at 2 more. Kitkat gonna shield up the Icy Wind bait, but no bait will of course be saving this opponent's fate. I feel like that's become quite a line on the channel. People love debate, but it simply isn't going to cut it. Kitkat going to give him that BM, double resisted, Scorching Sands, and we take that game. Kanto Ninetales actually has a very respectable ranking on PvPoke. It's ranked like 86th, and you can see in all these neutral matchups, it is just so bulky and so spammy. In the next battle, we see yet another Shadow Gator in the lead. Every opponent to this point in the video is full sent an Ice Beam, sneaking it through 2 Protect Shields. Kitkat once again clicks the no shield, and this time we found ourselves a Masturbator. Guys, don't masturbate. Every time you masturbate, a poor defenseless cat loses its life. If you're old like me, you've probably heard that old wives' tale before. Kitkat Tanks the next Hydro Cannon, makes the pivot into Arcanine, and out comes G-Weezy. G-Weezy gonna fire off the Brutal Swing, and I'm anticipating the opponent pivoting out, and right on cue, out comes Malamar. Kitkat, much like me, not a trainer that baits too often, and I really would not bait in this matchup. If you threw a Psychic Fangs at the opponent call it would simply do nothing, as that is a triple resisted move. As Dark double resist Psychic, and Psychic resists itself. Kitkat sticks to the script, full sending the double wild charge of the first one, goes shielded, the opponent shields back to back, and Kitkat forces them all shields down. Guzzlord re-enters the arena. Superpower will knock us out. Kitkat calls the Superpower, great protect shield. The opponent then send back out G-Weezy. We bank the crunch and send out Ninetales. Kitkat really has come on leaps and bounds as a battler. She's not actually played this game that long. I think she's played since like season 12 or something. She's hit legend the last like 5 or 6 seasons. You can see her anticipation on plays is fantastic. I think if I was to run Ninetales, I'd probably run Overheat as that nuke, but Scorching Sands very much going to come in handy in this battle. Able to remove G-Weezy from the field of play. Back out comes Malamar. Kitkat fires off the Weather Ball. Weather Ball, I was going to say, it probably isn't lethal, but to my surprise, even the non-shadow knocks out. Very nicely done. Heading into the next battle. We see a battle of Dragon types. It's quite rare to see a non-shadow Dragonite in the Open Ultra League. Most people opt for the shadow for that oppressive extra shadow bonus on that Dragon Breath. If you want to use a bulky dragon, stuff like Guzzlord, Zygarde, or Giratina are normally preferred. Kitkat Force of Protection actually tanks the Dragon Claw. Another reason I don't think you should run the regular version of Dragonite. We're actually able to withstand that damage. We then see the aggressive pivot into Arcanine, and just like that, the trap has worked again as out comes Tentacruel. I'm actually loving this squid abuse. These bulky Tentacruel are just getting deleted so quickly. Kitkat goes for one shield, full Thunderfang farm down. Tentacruel made a very brief cameo appearance. Out comes Steelix. Kitkat fires off the Psychic Fangs, which does absolutely nothing. Kitkat looking to switch out. She banks the Psychic Fangs to the road and makes the pivot into Kanto Ninetales. The opponent has a bucket load of energy, but it's just a crunch, which is an easy tank. Again, Ninetales, such a bulky mon. I wasn't expecting it to be all this bulky. Back out comes Dragonite. Kitkat fires off the Weather Ball, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. Kitkat going to burn the final Protect Shield, block up the Dragon Claw. She is going to be able to outpace the Weather Ball. Dragon does resist fire, but even the regular Dragonite won't be surviving a Weather Ball from here. Down goes Dragonite. Back out comes Steelix. Kitkat makes yet another catch. Oof, she's on fire today. I'm not sure if the opponent undercharged that crunch, or that's just how much it does. And of course, Dark does resist itself. Kitkat commits to the crunch. Unfortunately, she's unable to get there. We send out Arcanine, go straight for the Psychic Fangs, and I love this play. This is going to permanently debuff the opponent. And we've got a charge move banked. Of course, Ninetales will be winning CMP, and just like that, Kitkat going to take another very well played game. GG's, and thanks for playing. I've just had a look on PvPoke to check out Kanto Ninetales stats. It's around 4100, which is more than Malamar and just less than Gastrodon, hence it's showing its very respectable bulk today. In the next battle, we see Gliscod in the lead, we see the aggressive pivot into Arcanine, get off some Thunderfang damage, and out comes Licky, far too thicky. The opponent goes straight for a Body Slam, which is an easy tank for us. Kitkat gonna farm up, look to fire off the Psychic Fangs, and then try and commit to a Wild Charge. Can we get there? I think if the opponent doesn't throw, we will. The opponent recognising it, do throw a charge move, but that's fine. Just sets up a massive Dragon Tail farm down for Guzzlord. Once again, Arcanine has managed to bait out something that our second fire type doesn't want to see. Although as I say that, to be honest, it'd more than hold its own against Licky, far too thicky. The rollouts would be super effective, but rollout more of an energy generation move than a fast move pressure move. Guzzlord committing to a massive Dragon Tail farm down, leaving absolutely loaded. Guzzlord re-enters the arena. Kitkat always throw at disciplined timing. So for those of you looking to improve your fast move time, using a 3-turn move into a 2-turn move, it's nice and simple, just an odd number. Kitkat then waits the turn, makes the X as a catch onto Kanto Ninetales, a beautiful play. So what I mean by waiting the turn, if the opponent was looking to throw at good timing, they would throw one Shadow Claw and the charge move, so Kitkat didn't tap her phone, ensured she wasn't stuck in the animation and was able to make that catch. Out comes the opponent's own Guzzlord. The opponent fire off the crunch, Kitkat refusing the shield, hanging on to both. We reach the Scorching Sands, which won't be lethal, but should force one shield. There goes the first Protect Shield. Quick switch back into Guzzlord, not giving the opponent any extra energy. Kitkat gonna burn the first Protect Shield. Can we fully Dragon Tail farm down this Guzzlord? It looks like the answer is yes. Gliscod is energy dry and gonna be hitting for resisted with a quick move of Shadow Claw. Back out comes Gliscod. Kitkat not messing around, going straight for the crunch. Crunch forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Kitkat with so much energy, again commits to good fast move timing, throws the next crunch. Crunch removes Glitterbot from the field of play. One Dragon Tail knocks out the opposing Guzzlord, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Virizion in the lead. Dreadful for us, we say switch into Arcanine. Unfortunately, this time not baiting out a water type. Out comes Malamar. We see the instant shield deployed as Kitkat looks to make a play at taking back switch advantage. Kitkat continuing to farm up and actually going for a risky Psychic Fangs bait. Although in fairness, the opponent probably want to keep that alignment. Psychic Fangs will thankfully go shielded. The opponent shielded a triple resisted charge move this time. We full send the wild charge, and just like that, the opponent is all shields down. They even opted up energy as well. GBL isn't just about alignment. So when you hard lose lead, what you're looking to do is gain some kind of advantage in the mid game. And what we've done here is obtain that shield advantage. Kitkat sends out Guzzlord, of course, never shielding this move. The debuff super doesn't do too much. We're trusting in Ninetales upper protect shield to sweep the back line. Okay, out comes Walrein. This is very, very playable. The opponent farms the Earthquake. Kitkat looking to call the bait. Again, savage bait call. Ninetales easily tanks the resisted Icicle Sphere. Kitkat then fires off the Weather Ball, throws one further Fire Spin and the next Weather Ball. Is this enough to knock out Weather Ball? No, doesn't quite get the job done. Tough decision to make. Is this enough for an Earthquake? Kitkat says yes. It's just another Icicle Sphere, and this now gets back to being quite dicey. Kitkat fires off the Weather Ball. Weather Ball does half their health. Kitkat then farms up, looks to make the catch onto Guzzlord. The catch attempt's unsuccessful. The opponent fire off the Sacred Sword, rocking Guzzlord into the red. Kitkat looked to fire off the Dragon Claw but loses CMP. Sacred Sword removes us from the field of play. Kitkat able to reach the Weather Ball on what looks like to be a CMP side. Weather Ball is enough to take that game. I was definitely anticipating us losing CMP there. Ninetales is definitely a Pokemon I'm unfamiliar with, despite having one built. I've just checked on PvPoke. We've got a 151 attack, which is 5 higher than Virizion's at 146. Heading into the next battle, we see Guzzlord into Licky, far too thicky. We fire off the crunch, and we're actually able to get the debuff, which is very nice. Does the opponent have Earthquake? If they've got it, they're probably going to YOLO it, as Guzzlords don't tend to shield. The opponent fire off the Body Slam, which likely means Shadow Ball's their other move. Or not, the opponent actually did bait a Guzzlord, but undeterred, Kitkat withstands the Earthquake, reaches the next crunch, looking to remove Lickitung from the field of play. The opponent invests that Protect Shield. Kitkat could shield, look to Dragon Tail farm down, but she's actually like, no, we're going to trust in the fire type to clean up. Body Slam picks up the knockout. We send out Ninetales. Ninetales gets a very nice 2 Fire Spin running start. Let's see what comes out. The opponent taking a long time to send something out. They're thinking about it, and out comes Mandibuzz. Running start, it kind of makes sense, but I didn't want to see Guzzlord, as Mandibuzz is dreadful into that matchup. Kitkat fires off the Weather Ball. We then see a banking of a Weather Ball and the catch onto Arcanine. Arcanine very glassy, but Mandibuzz doesn't hit particularly hard. The opponent then sees the fire type in, send out Tentacruel. Uh-oh, trainer, bad decision. We waste no time, fire off the Psychic Fang. Psychic Fang forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Kitkat instantly going to shield. Even if we get Acid Spray baited here, which we do, we should be able to reach the next Psychic Fangs. The opponent looks for that Poison Jab farm down. Arcanine says no, reaches the Psychic Fangs. Down goes Tentacruel. We then reset a debuff and send back out Ninetales. Ninetales goes straight for the Weather Ball. Weather Ball does quite underwhelming damage, as Mandibuzz has like a bazillion HP. Yesterday, I can't believe it tanked the Shadow Thunderbolt from Zapdos. While this annoying Vulture might be bulky, it just doesn't hit hard enough. I'm not entirely sure why the opponent's playing this game out. I think the win con for them is Kitkat having a heart attack. She's still got a shield to hide behind and a health advantage. Kitkat still refusing to shield. The opponent going for an aerial ace bait. I can see it coming. I think Kitkat is going to give him that bad manners. Throw in that Scorching Sands. Is it necessary? Super necessary. If the opponent's going to waste our time, Kitkat says, I'll waste yours. And we take that game. How many times have we seen Water type switched into Arcanine now? It's got to be like 5 or 6. It is so funny. In the next battle, we see Gator in the lead. Oh, out comes Shadow Machamp. I love Shadow Machamp. It needs some love. I might actually run it myself. We fire off the Dragon Claw, obtain ourselves a shield advantage and send out Ninetales. If this is a Stone Edge, it's going to do a lot. Kitkat looks to call the bait. Oof, there's the Stone Edge. Ninetales just about survives. Not particularly well, but able to get off the Weather Ball. Weather Ball forces the opponent's final protection. They get a massive Karate Chop farm down. Kitkat sends out Arcanine. We've already seen the Stone Edge once, Kitkat. Just respect the damage. The opponent bait with the cross chop. Are they able to reach the Stone Edge? I'll be honest, I'm not counting, but I'll probably just double shield. Oof, there's another Stone Edge. Good shield from Kitkat. Out comes Gator. Trainer, do you have a Death Wish? The opponent doesn't make a catch. We reach the Wild Charge. Get that Gator off my screen. Out comes Clefable. Kitkat resets her debuff and pivots into Guzzlord. Guzzlord does have access to Sludge Bomb, which of course we're not running. This is an awful matchup for us. We are fully walled, but Kitkat just wants to reset her debuff, meaning Arcanine has more ability to tank charge moves. We fire off the Crunch. Unfortunately, not getting the defense drop. The opponent actually don't commit to the full Fairy Wind farm down, which I think is a huge mistake. The opponent fire off the Swift, removing us from the field of play. The opponent's going to need like 2 Swifts to knock us out. They actually force in the Moonblast, as it does do more, but Moonblast simply does not cut it. Kitkat maximises their farm, fires off the Wild Charge, and Wild Charge is enough to take that game. I think the opponent definitely had a wink on there. Just fully Fairy Wind farm down, leaving it 100 energy. Then you could just go for a Moonblast into a Swift, or vice versa. In the next battle again, we see Steelix in the lead, and another one not running Dragon Tail, so Kitkat more than happy to stay in. The opponent fire off the Breaking Swipe, which is super effective, but doesn't do all that much damage. Steelix, of course, a Steel and Ground type, not a Dragon. It's also quite a defense-weighted Pokemon. So a non-stab Breaking Swipe simply isn't cutting it. It looks like Kitkat can even survive a third and the residual Thunder Fangs. Kitkat going to fire off one further Crunch. Crunch likewise, despite us actually getting stabbed, doesn't do much as Steelix is just so bloody bulky. The opponent fire off the third Breaking Swipe. Kitkat looks to fire off the Dragon Claw, but unfortunately gets farmed down. We send out Ninetales. Ninetales will be looking for the farm down. The opponent doesn't commit to an Earthquake, so whatever they throw is going to be an easy tank. It's another Breaking Swipe, and out comes Primate. I've been spamming the Primate propaganda recently. This thing is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, throw the Rage Fist, and look to vamp its way for our team, which is quite a scary thought as we've got a very glassy Pokemon in the back. The opponent shields the first Weather Ball. Kitkat able to reach the second. The opponent actually tanked the damage, which is better for us. We then see the aggressive pivot into Arcanine. Arcanine going to be invested in Protect Shield, blocking up the Rage Fist, but this is quite unfortunate as when we farm this down, Steelix will be returning. However, it is quite low, so perhaps we can Psychic Fangs and Thunder Fang farm down afterwards. The opponent invests to Protect Shield, revealing they might be weak in the back. Can Kitkat get that double resisted Thunder Fang farm down? Kitkat gonna shield up the Breaking Swipe. Can we get that farm down? Let's go Arcanine, let's go Arcanine! No! Can we survive this charge move? It's going to be close. Arcanine just about survives. What is that third? Out comes Drifblim. Wild Charge doesn't get the same type of attack bonus, but Arcanine hits hard. They get rock deep into the red. Kitkat sends out Ninetales. Could have thrown the charge move. Opts to the Fire Spin farm down. And we take that game. Heading into the next battle. We'll lead Guzzlord into Shadow Gator, and people wonder why you've not seen my own Shadow Kanto Ninetales on the channel yet, because everyone loves to hide behind this top tier threat. Is the opponent full sending? Are they baiting? Kitkat instantly no shields, and again we found ourselves a master baiter. A very nice call from Kitkat. We then fire off one Dragon Tail and the Crunch, getting the defense shot. The opponent reset their debuff and send out Tentacruel. It's kind of funny that we're counter swapping our fire type into this water type. Kitkat correctly shields up the Skull, Thunder Fangs, deleting Tentacruel, usually non-existent HP stat. Kitkat farms up to the double Psychic Fangs. If the opponent shields the first, we're going to be able to win the charge attack priority. Arcanine absolutely popping off. Kitkat looks like she's happy with Arcanine's contribution, elects to let it go down. Scold will be moving us from the field of play, and out comes Guzzlord. The opponent sends out Clefable. Here comes Ninetales. The opponent can only hit for resisted damage or non-staff Swift. They could of course hit for Psychic, but I've never seen a Psychic variant of Clefable in Ultra League like ever. As the opponent switch lock this Clefable, this game certainly looks over. The opponent essentially playing out the inevitable. Kitkat with a shield to hide behind a very healthy Guzzlord. Clefable doing its best to play its way out of a dire situation, but these Moonblasts simply are not cutting it. Ninetales fires off the next Weather Ball, removing Clefable from the field of play. Back out comes a low health Gator. We fire off the Weather Ball. Weather Ball might be resisted, but easily enough to knock out. Finally, the opponent recognised the game's over, arguably about a minute too late, but we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we're seeing one of my favourite high risk, high reward picks, Alolan Sandslash. We pivot into Arcanine. Out comes Gyarados. I am speechless. Double super effective Thunder Fang damage. The opponent completely sacked Gyarados. I was anticipating a top left, but they actually send out Swampert. Kitkat going to fire off the Wild Charge, which is single resisting. I like this play as it is going to minimise the farm the opponent gets. Wild Charge didn't look all that resisted, able to get Swampert below half health. We could start the countdown to how long the opponent is going to take before they concede. I'm anticipating Sandslash returning, and when it does, it's going to meet Ninetales. They see Ninetales, and there is the top left. We all knew was coming. GG's to that opponent. And that is just about going to wrap things up for today's video. Huge shout out to my Discord moderator, the highly talented Kitkatdeluxe. As always, that was a lot of fun. If you made it to this point in the video, I'd be bamboozled. I'm going to apologise if I sound quite tired. I'll be honest, I am very tired. Work has been getting the better of me, but the show must go on. So if you made it to 25 minutes, post the word flapjack down below. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on my channel, a link to a battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thanks to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.